Hello, good evening. I'm going to do my speech, and my speech is on the police, on why the police should be defunded slash police brutality. As the United States struggle with the protests over the killing of African Americans George Floyd and Breonna Taylor by the local law enforcement, there have been discussions on the need to defund the police. Discussions on the idea of defunding the police have progressively gained momentum across the country, as seen in the Black Lives Matter campaign. Many believe that defunding the police will help in tackling issues of police brutality within the country by reallocating the police funds to other community resources. The police have been known to use excessive force, especially towards people of color, and this has raised so much concern across the country. This paper explores the various reasons why the police should be defunded. Some of the reasons mentioned in this paper include creating a new public safety model away from the discriminatory policing, reducing police brutality in this country, will do away with white supremacy policing, and invest in more humane and alternative policing. While some believe that defunding the police is a bad idea because it reduces funding for essential training programs and ongoing professional development that is required to help address bad policing tactics, I think America can survive without the police department. To begin with, the police should be defunded to help do away with the problem of police brutality. Many American citizens have joined in the movement to denounce acts of police brutality and injustice across the U.S. For example, the Black Lives Matter was a movement. It was a movement with an initiative to defund the police on the basis of police brutality against blacks. A CNBC News article by Alicia Adams reports what it means to defund the police. The article states that defunding the police is actually the diversion of police funds to other causes. Features the most recent cases, which were the murders of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and others. African Americans have experienced the scourge of racism in America despite the efforts to create a country where everybody is treated equally. As the country deals with the grief of these murders, we also point out racial discrimination in American policing. The article titled United States Black Lives Matter Movement demands defund, dismantle, reimagine police. And it suggests that defunding the police will help keep such injustices from occurring in the future. And it's by Malik, which is the Black Lives Matter president. And he wants to defund, dismantle, and reimagine police, per the Green Left Weekly article. Police brutality directed exclusively on African Americans has been a significant issue in America for the longest time. However, this time it has taken a different turn. A change is indeed required, and this change will only be accomplished through defunding the police department. Defunding the police will help do away with the white supremacy policing. It is not a secret in the United States. Actually, they have two systems of justice. In the article, policing in the U.S. is not about enforcing the law. It's about enforcing white supremacy, per Paul Butler. And he presents research that suggests the U.S. law enforcement system reflects a separate but equal kind of justice system. It seems that there are two different justice systems in this country, one for whites and the other for racial minorities. In many cases, people from racial minorities, such as African Americans and Native Americans, have been treated differently from whites. In any case, they are treated as less equal. The current policing reflects a system of white privilege. The institution is inherently biased. The racially biased system is also evident in the racially targeted policies, such as the stop and frisk, war on drugs, and many others, which has helped fuel mass incarceration in the U.S. Statistics reveal that African Americans are more likely to be incarcerated than whites. Moreover, the police tend to use 7 times more force on African Americans compared to whites. There is a need to eliminate the current policing that is inherently biased and exclusively targets the community of color. Defunding the police is one way we can help do away with the white supremacy policing and create a justice system that is equal and unbiased. Defunding the police will allow the country to invest in more humane and alternative policing. Defunding the police means shifting funds and resources to, to transformative justice approaches focus on protecting the citizens and maintaining law and order rather than incarceration and punishment. And that was found in the Paul Butler on Policing in the U.S. is not enforcing the law. It's about enforcing white supremacists, per Paul Butler. The idea of punishment does not always work well in deterring crime. Besides, punishment does not work on repairing the damage that crime has brought to the society. The current policing should be defunded to create room for transformative, restorative justice, which centers around fixing the damage done to individuals and connections instead of concentrating on punishing wrongdoers. And that was by Alicia Adams. And, I'm sorry, I went way too far. Okay, investing in policing rather than the community has brought about many human costs, including social and financial costs. Defunding the police will help direct the funds and resources to more humane and just alternative policing that focus on building the community. While many have agreed that defunding the police is necessary, opponents such as DJ Jordan and Scott Martin argue that defunding the police is not a good idea because it reduces funding for essential training programs and ongoing professional development required to help address bad policing tactics. This is true because the police funds can help police officers become better police officers and protect the country in a more just and fair manner. While this argument is true, it is not valid. First, these programs have been in existence for the longest time, but there are still cases of police brutality and injustice all over the United States. This shows that the current police officers are not ready to embrace a more humane and just policing. As such, there is a need to dismantle the entire police and develop a completely new system that understands the importance of justice and equality. In conclusion, the research shows that the police should be defunded to help reduce police brutality in this country and do away with the white supremacy policing and invest more in humane and alternative policing. What the country needs is a justice system that cares about the needs of the people, not one that is focused on taking people to jail and on racial discrimination. Defunding the police is the best way to free up resources and redirect them to a more humane approaches that support community safety. And then it shows where my works were cited at. And thank you. That concludes my speech. Thanks a lot for listening, and sorry for the nervousness. Bye. Take care.